Hello Internet, it is I, Mr. Benyon here once again to teach you a little bit about what we've been doing in classes to do with the play Face by Benjamin Zechariah. So we've discussed a few of the kind of main characters within the play, but one that perhaps I've left quite late into the process is looking at the character of Natalie. So Natalie is Martin's girlfriend. She, at the beginning of the play, has quite a few kind of funny, flirty moments with Martin, and we get the impression that they are in a pretty serious relationship. However, throughout the course of the play, specifically in Act 2, after Martin has had his terrible kind of car crash, they drift apart, and we've discussed as a group sort of different aspects and elements of the character that we think you should be emphasising within performance, and ones that you can definitely discuss if a possible, exam question comes up on Natalie. So we think Natalie is overall like quite a negative character. She embodies this theme of identity and sort of like self-image, but not in a positive way. She is a model, and that is said very early on in the play, and so we've decided that an actor approaching her role would have certain actions and mannerisms that would really get across the fact that she's incredibly self-conscious, that she is in fact quite vain, and that she is very image-driven as a person, so she's very obsessed with her own image. So things like opening up one of those little kind of compact mirrors, checking her appearance all the time, playing with her hair, looking at maybe applying little makeup and lipstick and so on and so forth. That's all things and little actions that she could do throughout the play to really get across the fact that she's quite an image-driven, quite self-conscious and very vain, kind of negative kind of character. You could go further and you could say she's absolutely obsessed with her appearance, and you could then think about what kind of actions and gestures and movements that she would have which may reflect that. Certainly though, in Act 2, Scene 2, there's a very important scene that happens between her and Martin. Now this is done in a split stage, so Martin is ringing Natalie and they have a conversation. We've decided as a group that we wouldn't have them standing right next to each other. We'd have them either facing in opposite directions or standing in two very distinctly different parts of the stage, perhaps highlighted or emphasised with the use of two spotlights on each of the characters. Throughout the course of this kind of duologue that they have, it becomes very clear and very evident that Natalie does not want to be with Martin anymore, and so she we're thinking about kind of things that she could do in terms of gestures and movements to kind of show this. We get the distinct impression she's a bit nervous perhaps about telling him, but she feels that she has to. So think about the kind of gestures and movements that you would do as an actor playing that part. Would you kind of like have things to show like stress, like maybe she's playing with her hands and fidgeting a little bit to show how uncomfortable she is about having that conversation with Martin. Again, we were thinking about a possibility of doing that scene where she actually is acting very what's the word I'm looking for? Quite flippantly, where Martin is kind of pouring his heart out to her and saying how much he kind of cares about her and how he needs her by his side. And she, while she's having these conversations with him, basically breaking up with him, she is just looking in a mirror, just kind of checking out how amazing she looks, maybe doing her hair, doing some kind of beauty regime, all those kinds of things. Again, are just going to get across the fact that she is more interested in her own self-image and what people think of her based on her appearance, rather than caring about what is going on underneath. And that is one of the central kind of themes and messages of the play. It's not, you shouldn't judge people on what they look like on the outside. It's what's inside that counts. And that is a very, very strong message that we can get across in the scene where they break up, because Natalie, I think from an audience perspective, does the audience need to see and recognise that Natalie is quite a vain, self-conscious character, and that she is in that respect like not very positive within the context of the play. So how are you going to show that? How could you show that in her appearance? Like what kind of clothes is she going to be wearing? She's a model, so she's certainly going to be wearing nice, pristine kind of clothes. She's also things like hair, makeup, generally anything to do with her appearance, like jewellery, etc. These are all kind of nice little accessories and ideas that you can bring in to say, for example, if there's a question asking you to describe the kind of clothes that she's wearing. So have a think. like I say, all these videos are just very kind of big overviews about the general kind of themes and what we've been discussing. You need to get a lot more specific in your answers, and you need to be discussing specific moments, specific kind of aspects of her character, and specific aspects of the way she looks if it's a design question. So hope that's helpful. There'll be more of these videos coming your way very soon. Happy revising.